Hello friend, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a lighting setup from a recent corporate interview project. And while the project is not completely done, I'm still working on the edit and the color. We shot in this super interesting space, so I just wanted to show you guys how I went about lighting this with limited gear, nothing crazy fancy, and actually got to test out some new lights in the process. Just so you guys have a little bit of context for the shoot, this is for a corporate client. I was hired to come in and capture interview and B-roll. This video is essentially an about the company video for this specific firm here in Kansas City. Crew-wise, it was just me and my friend Caleb, and then we had Bren, who was the producer who hired me for this project. And before we get into lighting, this was shot on the Fujifilm X-H2S and X-T5. We had the X-T5 actually on the center A-cam shot using the Sigma Art 18-35, and then I was using the X-H2S on the Easy Rig with the Tamron 17-70. That lens has been super fun as I've been getting to test it out over the last few months as a replacement to my Sigma Art 24-70. So when it came to setting up the frame, I really wanted to position the subjects in a way that best showcased this space, as it's super unique, very big, lots of natural light, cool textures. And so placing them at this point in the room, I felt like looked really good. It was centered, and I really loved all the depth we were getting. So you'll notice there's a little bit more headroom, and I was doing this intentionally to really show off that window at the top as well as that light fixture up towards the ceiling. And so once I found my frames for the A and B cam, we set up the key light. For this, we used the new Zhiyun B500. We had this in a 38-inch softbox and added an additional 5-in-1 reflector diffusion sheet to soften the light a tad bit more, as we were filming quite wide on the A-cam. And this is something I'll commonly do, especially if there's two subjects in this case. You just can't get the light close enough for it to feel soft enough in the 38-inch softbox. So we went ahead and added that diffusion sheet, and I feel like it added a nice touch. And I was wanting this interview to not look super buttery soft because their space is a little bit more rugged. I wanted this to feel natural, that there was a mix of hard light and soft light. And so I feel like going with this for the lighting really made it quick and easy with just a two-man crew, and I really loved the result. Once we had our key light set up, we had to do something about the sun that was just blasting into this space. And so I was really hoping for a cloudy day, but we did not get one. The sun came out from behind the clouds and just started beaming through these windows, and there was no really other option to block these out as it was quite high up on the building. And so we ended up getting a ladder and put a large 5-in-1 reflector up in these windows. It just kind of friction fit, which I feel like worked really well. And then we had kind of the outside bag of the other 5-in-1 reflector that we kind of clamped up here to the rafters, and this flagged the light that was hitting our subjects. And doing this made a world of difference. We kind of did this very last minute after everything was set up, but it kept the light consistent on our subjects, even if the background ambient light was going to be changing throughout the interview. And I'm really glad that we took that extra few minutes to get this dialed in. The next light you'll see here is the backlight, and for this we used the new Zhiyun B300. It was tricky finding a spot where to place this, but we ended up hiding it directly behind one of our subjects. This was really the only place I could find where I could put this light. The stand would be out of frame, that I wouldn't need to mask it, and would still give kind of a hard edge to the back of our subjects. Again, this was really wanting to lean into having this feel natural and kind of this mix of hard light that was coming into the space and soft light on our subjects. And so you guys will see where we ended up placing that. So a quick note about these lights from Zhiyun. I think they're brand new. They sent them my way, and I told them I'd be interested in checking it out, but I'm just gonna showcase them in a real world client scenario where I'm actually using the lights. I'm not gonna do a dedicated review, but I would share just some initial impressions, what I think about them, as I imagine there'll be other videos coming out. But I've enjoyed using them on a handful of projects the last month. This one felt like the best context to kind of share some thoughts with you guys. And so the short of it is, I like them. They're maybe not my favorite lights at this price point, but I didn't have any major issues with them. They're bicolor, fairly compact, and feature just a power cord, which I really love. This is why I love the Nanlite FS line of lights. For productions like this where I'm needing to move fast, where we don't have a ton of crew, having the big power ballasts on some of the larger lights from Nanlite as well as Aperture, I feel like just end up slowing me down as there's multiple power cords. I love lights that just have one power cord. You can plug it in and you are good to go, and you're not juggling multiple cords and cables that can break. These cables are super sturdy, and I love just having one cable to plug into these lights. From there, you can control them either on the back of the light or control them via Bluetooth and their app, which worked quite well. I don't think I absolutely love the look with the chrome fan guards and the blue fans. It seems like they're trying to make the lights stand out from other things on the market, which I totally understand trying to do that. But to me, it comes off as a little bit less professional compared to other lights out there on the market. Another product that was sent to me that I made use of in this video was this fresnel attachment from SmallRig. I use this on the B300 on the backlight, as this works with any standard Bowens mount light. I've never owned a Fresnel, and I've been eyeing different ones for a while. I actually reached out to SmallRig and asked for this, as I haven't seen very many people using it on YouTube, and I just thought it would be fun to test out and add to my kit as another option for shaping light. This one interested me because of its compact size and overall simple design. It's not as large as the one from Nanlite. I just wanted something I could throw in my bag and grab, and this was the perfect shoot where I made use of it. First impressions are good. I feel like it worked well in this scenario. Allowed me to focus the direction of the light so it wasn't spilling everywhere. I was trying to keep as much shape on my subject, and there was a wall directly behind the cameras, and if I just had a standard reflector dish on there, I think it would have filled in a lot more of the shadow side and then added kind of a color cast light back to our subjects. So overall, I think it's really fun. I've used this on a few more shoots that you guys will see coming up here on the channel, but overall, I really liked it. It's really simple. There's not really much to it. You just simply can use it to focus your lights. A few more lights worth mentioning was the Nanlite FS300B that I had in the projection attachment in the far back office. We had this slashing against the back wall, as the back spot back there was quite dark, and I feel like we needed some separation between our subjects and the background. And then the final other light that was already here was these practicals. This lamp was inside this office, and when I was trying to find a frame, I was trying to balance out just kind of a checkerboard pattern of light and dark and light and dark, and these were honestly in the perfect spot. They were a warm color temperature, and we were shooting on, I think, 1/60 shutter speed so that there was no flicker, as these are just normal bulbs. But I feel like ratio-wise, it really ended up adding to kind of this B-cam angle, and was really glad they were there. If they weren't there, I probably would have stuck a tube light or a little aperture MC back in that corner to bring up the exposure a little bit, as there was also that window in the space that was adding some contrast for us. And so to wrap up, I really loved the look that we got on this project. We shot, I think, 5 or 6 different interviews and then a ton of B-roll after. And the way that I approached the lights that I brought, they just needed to move around quickly. We didn't have a ton of time to be moving, large 4x4s or 8x8s that I'll sometimes use for interviews. That's why I went with a softbox, went with a simple backlight, and tried to just make the image look as good and as natural as possible, still utilizing as much natural light as we could, but flagging it off where it was a problem. I really hope that you find breakdowns like this helpful. I always want to show you guys both the behind the scenes, but then what the final images are looking like. And while I'm still tweaking the edit and the grade, I hope this gives you a good idea of the look that we were pulling off. Some final notes on the new lights and the Fresnel. I don't see myself adopting the lights from Zhiyun as my primary lights, as all my other lights are from Nanlite and controlled via the same app. And for shoots like this, it was kind of complicated switching between 2 different apps, and then the lights are needing to reconnect. And so I love keeping everything just consistent with one brand. The Nanlite FS line for me has been that. They're really simple, one power cord, but I think if you are a content creator or someone who already owns some of the other really compact Zhiyun lights, I think you'll be really stoked that they are adding more high power professional lights to their lineup. I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know any questions down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.